Good Monday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. I am your meteorologist, Peter Thin, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. First off, before we go on and get into anything, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure that you're going to do so. We are at 583, trying to get to that main goal of 617 away. Please go on and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Also, hit the share button. Like I said, share it with everybody that you know, because it could be on anybody on Facebook, it could be with anybody on Twitter, it could be with anybody on like Instagram or anything like that. Any sort of social media platform, you can go on and share it to them. But I will say that helps, and then also sharing it to just the people that you know. So what's on tap for tonight? What will we be talking about tonight? We will continue to talk about the weather for tonight, first off, as always. Then we also will talk about current conditions right now throughout the state. And then we're going to continue to talk about that area inside the tropics. We're actually going to go in depth with the models to see what they say. And then also, we're going to continue to talk about how low rain chances will occur as we continue throughout this week. But for the most part, that is all that I have to say to start off. So what's going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina? And right now, as you can see right now on your screen, there is nothing really going on inside of like the Midland area, the Low Country, the PD, the Grand Strand area. But look up here inside the upstate. We have rainfall going on up here, which this was expected, going over towards like Fairplay, South Carolina, Sandy Springs, Anderson, just to the east of Clemson, getting in on some of that rainfall as well as Easley. Spartanburg getting some isolated shower activity as well as Cowpens, Landrum, and then over here towards Tigerville in Cleveland, South Carolina, we do have rainfall going in throughout those areas. Other than that, everyone else is dry. What about throughout the entire U.S.? We have rainfall going on in North Carolina as well as Virginia as well, even going into Minnesota down through to Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Rainfall also ongoing for Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, South Dakota, and Nebraska. And then some rainfall also going on inside of New Mexico and Texas. But for the most part, that's all I can see. Maybe some rainfall in Florida, Louisiana could be included in there. Cloud cover, we do have some cloud cover obviously going on inside the upstate where all that shower activity is going on. The Midlands, Low Country, PD area looks clear. I do see a couple of specks here and there, but I'm not seeing anything that's really catching my eye. And if we look at cloud cover for the future, you can kind of see what I was saying. There's nothing really catching your eye except for up there inside the upstate. But what happens if we continue to move pass through, and as we go later and later to tonight, even into tomorrow morning, cloud cover really just continues up there for the upstate, while the Midlands, Low Country, and that PD Grand Strand area continues to stay kind of like on the more clear side. But cloud cover will kind of try to kind of get into those areas, and it does. You will see some cloud cover over there, especially tomorrow afternoon/evening, but one thing that I will say is that it's not looking anything widespread. Current temperatures right now, 72 in Columbia as well as 72 in Orangeburg, 71 in Somerville as well as 72 in Sumter, 70 in Florence and 72 in Georgetown as well as 73 in Murrells Inlet, 72 in Myrtle Beach as well as 69 in Conway, 72 inside of Aiken and 74 in Charleston, 69 I believe that is also inside of Greenwood. And then we also do have around 71 inside of Greenville, 73 in Clemson and 72 in Anderson, 70 inside of Lugoff and 68 inside of Lawrence and Union, 67 in Gaffney, and 66 also inside of York and Rock Hill. Low temperatures for tonight, you have around 62 in Greenville, 61 in Spartanburg, as well as 62 in Anderson, 60 inside of Lawrence, as well as 60 in Columbia, 59 in Orangeburg and Walterboro, and even 61 in Moncks Corner, 64 in Charleston, 67 in Hilton Allen, and 60 in Georgetown, and even up there in Florence, 60, Dillon, 60 as well. Now for rainfall, there is some rainfall, obviously, up there inside the upstate, and this is actual accumulation. So 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch is possible out there for some areas up there inside the upstate. 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch possible for Anderson, South Carolina. And some places may even get a quarter of an inch to a half an inch as we move into later tonight, even into tomorrow during the day. The crazy score, we're at a 10 inside the calm category. Makes sense for the most part. Dry conditions, except for up there inside of the upstate right now. It's going to be cool and comfortable. And there is limited fog activity. Some high clouds reduces fog chances, though patchy mountain fog is possible. But overall, a stable atmosphere. SPC outlook, there still is a little thunderstorm risk out there that they just updated at around 8:50 p.m. up there for the upstate as we continue to see that shower activity. Let me go in and see real quick, is there any lightning that's even occurring? Right now, according to the MRMS, right now it's saying that there is not really any thunderstorm activity going on right now with these areas inside of the upstate. What about tomorrow? Tomorrow there is not really, again, a thunderstorm risk either. Same thing, mainly just up there inside of the very far western upstate. There's like a little sliver, but I'm not really seeing anything too widespread there either. And same thing, day 3, no thunderstorm risk here either. No excessive rainfall as well. So let's go on and look at the models. So we're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. 9 o'clock p.m. as we go on and push this forward. You can see that rainfall continues up there inside the upstate. And it continues to push its way down through as we go through around 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. even, which honestly, I'm a bit surprised that we were only inside of a calm for the score for tonight, for the crazy score for tonight, just because I just believe that we probably should have been a bit higher than that. I mean, at least minimum mild, but like I said, that just comes off from the National Weather Service forecast, and so from 9 to 7 p.m. they didn't mention really anything about rain, most likely, and so that's most likely why we just are inside of that calm category right now. But that rainfall, like I said, in the upstate continues all the way to around 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow, and then some more even comes along around 11 to 12 p.m. as well, even to 1 p.m. I mean, you're still seeing some rainfall up there inside the upstate, but again, nothing really inside of the PD area or the Midland area. Even by around 7, 8, 9 p.m., rainfall is still ongoing over here inside of the upstate, still by around 12 a.m. And then a high pressure finally shows up as you get into, seems to be around September the 17th, kind of getting to the morning time on that day, which is Thursday, I believe so, Wednesday. And that's when things start to dry off, it seems, especially up there inside the upstate. So the upstate's really just like the only area that I'm really looking at right now that's really going to receive that good amount of rainfall. Now, if we go in and see the total accumulated precipitation throughout the next 48 hours, you can see, like I said, most of it up here inside the upstate, maybe around half an inch, quarter of an inch, half an inch, from what we have been seeing just from this one model run throughout the next 48 hours, and that lines up pretty much with what the total precipitation amount map shows. Quarter of an inch to a half an inch is possible, maybe even a bit more as we go through like the next 48 hours, because this map only goes out 24 hours. But that's it for the short-term future. What about the long-term future? So we're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark. And if we go on and continue to push this forward, you can see that rainfall. Again, you're not really seeing too much of it. You start to see some coastal activity, maybe as you get to around like the 18th, 19th-ish or so. And then as you get through to around like the 20th, 21st, 22nd, things start to calm, still are kind of calm, but then once you get to like later on the 21st, things start to get a little bit more active in terms of that coastal moisture as it moves its way into the coastal region, as it moves its way maybe even into like the inland coastal areas, maybe even some inland areas. But it only seems to be for like that day, and then we finally calm down again, and things start to seem just a little bit more drier. And then the 25th, 26th moves in, and rainfall seems to still be on the more active side as we go into the 27th and the 28th. Now, once we get to the 28th, we really can't go any further than that just because it's 300 hours out. But we can look at patterns, and it seems like pretty much what we've been saying about how the last couple of days of September could be active. Now, remember, on, I believe it was Saturday, we were looking at this, and we said that the last couple of days of September it looks like it's going to be active. Then yesterday, it seemed like that it was going to be a little bit less active. It wasn't going to be as active as we thought. Same thing, or actually the complete opposite again for today. So honestly, it's been back and forth. Will the last couple of days of September be active, or will it be quiet? Will it be quiet? It's kind of been, models have been going back and forth on it. But it's 300 hours out, and that's probably the main reason why. Honestly, they just have no idea with it right now. And I mean, even as you go into September 28th, like I said, that's the last couple of days there. That's still 300 hours out, so things will shift there for sure. But that's it for our long-term models. What about the tropics? We have this area right here that we are watching for. This area right here, the red area, that is continuing to move its way to the northwest. And as you go on, and let me go on and get over this real quick and see. But it says a broad area of low pressure is located about midway between the Windward Islands and the coast of Western Africa. This system is showing signs of organization and is expected to move through a favorable environment for further development. A tropical depression or a tropical storm is likely to form by the middle to latter part of this week, while the system moves west to northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour over the central tropical Atlantic. So this has a 60% chance of forming over the next 48 hours, and now a 90% chance of forming over the next 7 days. This is what we saw at the last one. Honestly, I think this is almost an exact rendition of what we saw when the last one failed. It was a 60-90, I believe it was, and that one indeed did fail to form. Will this one happen? Again, it's unlikely just because of how high the odds are. But the chance is always there. That 10% is there. So now it's actually an invest. It's invest 92. So now we can actually get really some in-depth look at what it looks like. And this is what it looks like right now. Again, just to the west of Africa and just to the east of the Windward Islands. This is its area right now. I mean, you can kind of see, I mean, at the beginning of the frame, if I was to show you this to say it would almost be like a tropical storm, you probably would believe me at this point if you saw it like right around here, where you just have kind of like the outer bands going along it. So, but then at the end, it really starts to get a lot more on the weaker side, especially in terms of that convection in the middle. But there is no eye with it as well, so I think that also kind of negates the fact that it could potentially be a tropical storm, but just like a whole bunch of moisture just shaped almost like a tropical storm. But if you go on over here into that's not what I wanted to show. That's not what I wanted to show either. But right here, I think this is the hurricane models right here. This is the hurricane models, and you can see that curve that's occurring with it. And this is another one of those scenarios. When will it curve? We played this game multiple times. We saw it with Aaron. We saw it with the last storm that we were tracking that failed to form. And now this one's doing the same thing. When will it curve is the main question. You have these ones down here that kind of try to go more of a western track, like the HFAI. But you have one like the CM2 up here that curves very early and wants to get to the north as quickly as possible. Now, what about the GFS? The GFS right here, this one, like the median track of it, actually has it going curving, getting away from South Carolina, not causing us any concerns in terms of like tropical storm or hurricane force conditions. Rip currents and surf, that will be a question that we have when we figure out where it's going to go to exactly. But you do have a couple of models out here that kind of have it going a bit lower in millibar pressure than a lot of others. Like, for example, you can see this pink line over here. You can even see some purples. That's 940 to 930 millibars. That is, like, at that point, category 3, maybe even category 4 strength right there. So, this one, I mean, I'm seeing all over the place. I see these ones up here. Seems to be like around like tropical storm force, and seem like the more to the south it goes, the more that it wants to be on the weaker side, while the more that it curves, the stronger that it wants to get. And that would make sense because obviously the stronger that a hurricane is, or the stronger that a storm is, the more of that chance that it will have to curve up to the north because it wants to get north quicker. But the weaker that it is, and the more that it decides to take its time, the more west that it's going to go because it's not going to have that strength to move up to the north. And the GEPS right here, again, same thing. The stronger ones tend to go more up to the north, while the weaker ones tend to go down more to the west and towards us. So, just another waiting game to see what happens, but the median track overall shows it pretty much going out to sea. The intensity guidance for this one, most of them say it will become a tropical storm. And even a couple of them say Category 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane as we go into the next 100 to 168 hours. That's like the next, getting close to like the next 7 days, but not quite. I do want to see what the Euro model has to say, because we have not seen that one yet. That one is the one that I usually do look at before we go on and check out any other ones, but I decided to put it a bit last today. But here it is right here. You can see the low pressures for this one all over the place. I mean, you can see low pressures all over the screen, but most of them have it curving. You don't see anything over here for South Carolina at all, so that's a good sign. But that's all that I have to say really for the tropics. I mean, there's nothing else really for me to say except for that we just have to continue to watch and see what happens and to see, will it gain strength quickly? Will it kind of just stay its pace and kind of just stay relatively on the more patient timeline? Well, we'll continue to see what happens though. Now let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Mr. Chris says, good evening everyone from Monk's Corner. Please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. He's absolutely correct. We've had 13 people tune in tonight. 13 people tune in tonight. And currently right now, if I'm looking at this correctly, we only have 6 likes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Don't know what's going on there. If you are a part of that 7 people that have not hit the like button yet, make sure that you go on and do so. Churro says, greetings everyone. Lovely day here. Great to hear that. Greetings to you. Mr. Chris says, it was a really nice day here today. A little breezy, but not too bad. Same at my house as well. My Nana says, hello Jay, nice day today. Stayed outside for a while after the kids got here. That's great to hear. I'm glad that you got some outside time today. My Aunt Lula then says, good evening, everyone. We had a beautiful day today. We did. And then Mr. Chris says, hope that we get some rain soon. It's really dry. It is. And the drought monitor is coming out on Thursday. I kind of, like I said, I kind of already have my prediction laid out for what I think. I kind of already have my prediction laid out already. I'm like in between 2 options right now. I'm in between 2 options, but I think I'm just going to continue to wait and see what happens as the week progresses, see how much rainfall we get this week. So I'm just going to continue to wait for that, though. But that's all that we see inside of the chat for now. So let's go on now and talk about the 3 locations outside of South Carolina. That being Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Duncan, Oklahoma. If you don't know why we talk about those locations, it's because we have people from those areas that watch, tune in almost every single night. Starting off with Raleigh first, you have low temperatures tonight at 60, high temperatures tomorrow at 66, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 60 as well. So your temperatures are not really going to change, and that is obviously because of that low pressure out there. It's going to bring some rainfall towards you, and it's just going to be cloudy. You're not going to get a whole bunch of sunshine, so it's not really going to warm things up as much. There is a chance of showers tonight. Showers are likely tomorrow during the day, and then a chance of showers also tomorrow night as well. What about severe weather, excessive rainfall? No severe weather is expected, but excessive rainfall, that's a different story tonight. You do indeed have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for tonight, tomorrow, and that's about it. So just tonight and tomorrow, minor flooding or isolated flash flooding is possible. Philadelphia being the next location, you have low temperatures tonight at 62, high temperatures tomorrow at 82, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. There is no precipitation that is expected tonight, but there is a chance of showers tomorrow during the day, and tomorrow night showers are likely. Starting off with severe weather, no severe weather is expected, no excessive rainfall is expected either. The final location being Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 69, high temperatures tomorrow at 91, and then low temperatures tomorrow night also at 69. You do not have a risk for any sort of severe weather as you go through the next 8 days or so for now. And then there's also no excessive rainfall for the next 5 days. So that's all that I have for those three. What's going on throughout the entire U.S.? A low pressure will track slowly northwestward into the mid-Atlantic region through midweek, bringing a risk for excessive rainfall, gusty winds, shallow coastal flooding, rip currents, and large surf. That's all things, by the way, that I called out after I saw that low pressure kind of move its way. I said gusty winds. Flooding could potentially be a concern. I say for up there for North Carolina and Virginia, even up into parts of southern Delaware. Not Delaware, but southern Maryland as well. And look at that. They're saying the same thing. Unseasonably warm to hot temperatures will persist into the mid to upper Mississippi Valley and into the Great Lakes and even into the Northeast through Thursday. So that's what we're looking at as we move through just for the U.S. Throughout the Pacific, because obviously I know that we haven't gotten an update over there on the Pacific in a while in terms of the tropics. They have Tropical Storm Mario out there. It is expected to die out, but they have another area right behind Mario that will indeed have another shot for bringing out another risk for a storm to come through. So they have their active conditions going on over there as well. And so other than that, I don't see anything else too bad. Air quality alerts still go out for Memphis, Tennessee, as well as St. Louis, Missouri. And then even inside of southern Indiana, they have some air quality alerts out there, still trying to limit their time outside. Let's go on and check out the chat one more time. I don't see anything else inside of the chat. Let me go and check on my email, see if we have any pictures to show tonight. It keeps on sending me to the wrong email, even though I click on the scweather360@gmail.com email. And no, we have nothing else for tonight. Top fans for tonight, Mr. Chris at number 1, Trails at number 2, and then my Nana is at number 3. Congratulations to the three of y'all for being the top fans for tonight. If you don't want to be top fans, you can, but you just have to be a subscriber to the channel. And also, you have to be here to the stream early and be active inside the chat. Also, speaking of hitting the subscribe button, make sure you're going to do so. We're at 583, trying to get to 600. Also, with the like button as well. We're getting close to that 600 goal. We've been standstill in the 580s, just, kind of been going back and forth between numbers here and there. And so, when will we get out of the 580s? Hopefully, it will be soon. But getting close. We're still very close to that 600 goal. And I will be back, though, tomorrow morning with your Tuesday morning forecast update. Make sure that you are there. Drought Monitor comes out on Thursday, so we will be talking about that. The Hurricane Hugo recap anniversary will be next week, Sunday. Next week, Sunday evening. Make sure that you're there for that. And then, overall, I think that is all that we have. So, I will be back tomorrow morning with your Tuesday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Monday.